Naofumi is high D tier at worst, so he's somewhat understandable, but putting Subaru Natsuki of all people anywhere below B tier, an easy S tier character, but whatever, I can compromise to extent, let alone an F tier, is like having sex with your biological mom, dad, sister, brother, a horrendous action that you'd think would never have been done by anyone, but then you learn that the world has myriad people that have unique ways of surprising you.
Oh my God.
Chef's kiss.
Wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight, we have our czar of source material, John.
Surprisingly, it is not too early. It is too late right now.
Yes, it is. Especially for someone like you who hasn't slept in, 20 plus hours?
We're encroaching about 25 right now.
Ah, yes. So the sooner we get done with this, the better.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't because I got home and played Elden Ring until 11 a.m. in the morning. So
that checks out. That checks out.
Listen, finals are over. I finally was able to fucking play Elden Ring. I've been holding off for 2 weeks because of that.
Nice.
And we have our poser extraordinaire Natai as well.
Wait, so John, are you a maidenless weeb? Is that it? Is that the meme?
I thought about doing it. I was trying to do a level 1 retch run, and oh boy, I got my shit rocked so hard. I've died 200 times already, just trying to kill the damn tree sentinel.
I love hearing people talk about their From Software games experience. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and the worst part was I remade a character, and I went I think I went Vagabond or some shit. I went to an actual class, and I killed the tree sentinel one try. And I was like, oh, nice. So this is what it's like to play a class that actually has weapons and stuff.
Good shit.
All right. Well, so tonight the three of us have gotten together to talk about, actually for once in quite a while, talk about an actual serious topic. That doesn't
serious topic in Anime Club
After
Dark.
Who would have guessed that we would talk about serious topics? And that it's not a topic that inherently relates to anime or manga, but it does tangentially relate to otaku culture, I suppose. And that is the idea of parasocial relationships, and specifically how they relate to content creators.
So I would say that I would definitely argue that this definitely relates to otaku culture, because this is something that it's not just what spawned this entire idea was the whole Russia thing, right? I was
which we will get into later.
Yeah, and it's there's a bunch of examples parasocial relationships and VTubers parasocial relationships aren't anything new, right?
No.
So what is a parasocial relationship, Alex?
According to Psychology Today, a parasocial relationship or parasocial interaction is defined as one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, i.e. the persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence.
AKA,
and like you said, they are not new.
AKA, you damn Twitch mods.
Yes.
Got him.
Fucking got him. That was the entire podcast. Thank you guys all out there for dropping
Thank you all for coming by. Round.
Good thing we aren't doing this live on Twitch, or we would get banned.
No, God, no. But like John said, they are not new. They've existed for years, for centuries even. They've existed, in more recent times with movie and television stars, and throughout the ages with sports teams, athletes, politicians, you name it. Anyone who gets any level of fame or even infamy, for that matter.
Yeah, we literally did a movie review about Perfect Blue, which is literally about parasocial relationships.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, the movie Perfect Blue is literally about a parasocial relationship, 100%.
Yeah.
So is it bad that my first thought was the Stan song from Eminem?
I mean, again, that's a great example
good.
too.
That's good.
Like,
That is a great pop culture example of a parasocial relationship.
I wrote Stan, bitch.
I wrote you every day. You still ain't wrote back. I ain't mad. I just think it's a little messed up.
That has become such an iconic representation of parasocial relationships that the word stan has been coined to refer to anyone in a parasocial relationship with a content creator.
Yeah, the fervent, like, you stand, I mean, a lot of people stand virtual anime girls, but yeah, this isn't anything new. Definitely, I thought about this and I was like, we should probably talk about this, because as online creators ourselves, we have a little bit of that going on. Like, it's a really tough subject to talk about, because no one wants to actually, like, shit talk their fans, right? Like, we love everyone who comes out and supports us, buys our stuff, watches our stuff and interacts with us. It's lovely. It's like, we have our own audience, and we're performing live for you guys sometimes, like when we're streaming on Twitch, Anime Club After Dark.
Check the description below.
Yeah, check whatever our links are. I'm 25 hours out right now. I'm not gonna make a lot of sense, but but there's some certain levels of, like, toxicity, I want to say. Toxicity to it, where it's like it gets unhealthy. A perfect example of that is the whole Rusia debacle. So what happened was Rusia got a message from another online creator that was like
Rusia the VTuber, by the way, in case
Rusia the VTuber from HoloLive, RIP. My lovely undeads, or whatever. I don't know what is this?
Fan dead.
Her fan deads, RIP fan deads. Yeah, so she got caught in a compromising, like, screenshot situation where she got messaged by a different content creator saying something like ambiguous, like, I'm coming home, and everyone, like, flipped the fuck out, because they're like, this isn't the first time this has happened with Rusia. Apparently her and, I think, what's the guy's name, Mofu
I forget exactly what his name is, but he's a I guess particularly popular, like, singing, I guess karaoke and music personality.
Yeah, so another popular internet creator, like, sent her has been caught more than once, like, being a little bit overly friendly, and it kind of spiraled out of control, with the thing being that a lot of her fans were just like, what the fuck, like, you shouldn't lie to us. If you're in a relationship, that's fucked up, because you're making us spend money and donate to you. And I'm just like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Don't mislead people. Like, I know we're gonna get banned on Twitch if I say this. However, good thing we're not on Twitch right now live streaming this. But Amaranth is a perfect example of this. Amaranth, if you guys don't know, was like Queen Twitch Thought for. I think she still is Queen Twitch Thought. I mean, honestly speaking,
I think she's still the most watched female streamer on Twitch.
Like, she pulls in money. So
fun fact: the number 3 most viewed female streamer on I think across the board last year was Usada Pekara from HoloLive.
Yeah, I think, isn't she number 1 on YouTube, or is that Valkyrie? I don't remember.
That's Valkyrie, and I think she is number 2 on YouTube though.
But basically, Amaranth is a Twitch streamer who has very particular. She does, like, just chatting or, like, hot tub streams, and she just shows a lot.
Oh, the classic hot tub streams.
The hot tub meta, my friends.
She's just basically hoeing herself out. And I remember distinctly years ago, one of her Twitch mods, like, messaged her and was like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't know you were married. So for you guys out there who don't know, Amaranth is actually married, and she's not single, and she's not going to dump her husband for you, unfortunately, as much as you might want that, as much as I might want that. But yeah, basically her Twitch mod was just like, what the fuck, I didn't know you were married, I can't believe you would lead me on like this. And he basically sends in his resignation, like, I can find another girl like you. In fact, I'm already a Twitch mod for a different girl, and she's way better than you. And she was like, look, sorry dude, like, I don't know what I did to make you feel led on, but, like, our relationship was purely, like, professional. You said you wanted to mod for me for free, and you had fun doing it. Like, I don't know what's changed, and what's changed is that now he realizes he'll never get some from Amaranth, and it's very sad, right?
It's very
This is very common. The
shocking thing is how common it is.
Yeah, it's very common for a lot of people to be in parasocial relationships, especially right now with how big streaming is. Like, I remember watching a stream where this girl, one of her Twitch mods met her in real life, and she had to stream with the dude, and he was like giving her money and stuff, and he was super creepy, dude. Oh god, she was clearly, visibly uncomfortable with everything that was happening, and she just didn't...
I think I've seen this video, and it's like the secondhand cringe that you feel.
Yeah, it was on it was really big on live stream fails. But yeah, it's a dangerous line to tread, because again, you don't want to tell your fans no, because again, they're your fans, they're what support you, they're basically your income. Like, without fans being there watching your stuff, subscribing, giving you donations and stuff, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing. And
but it's kind of like, it's very strange that like people, like, I think I know personally, like I appreciate when content creators and streamers are like upfront with their audience, because like but some content creators do sort of exploit that weakness. It sort of like makes it seem like their relationship with their audience is like more than friendly, when in reality it's not.
Rushia herself was a really good example of this, because whether it was intentional on her part or not, going into like Hololive and VTubing, she ended up having this niche, or this like shtick of being the GFE VTuber.
Really?
And she leaned into that hard during her streams. Like, anytime that her followers would flirt with her, she would return that flirting. Now, I'm sure that it was like supposed to be just a friendly thing, and whatever. But a lot of her followers took that pretty seriously, this is how much that she leaned into it. And I don't know if it was just her, or maybe even the managers behind the scenes at Hololive egging her on to do this. But one of the things that they released as part of merchandise for, I can't remember if it was for an anniversary or a birthday event, but one of the pieces of merchandise you could buy for Rushi at one of these events was an engagement ring.
Oh my god, that's right.
That's so bad.
Yeah. And it was like, obviously that was a marketing thing. Like, first of all, Russia, you should just been collecting husbandos like Nene, to be honest.
I know.
Just marry everyone.
Welcome to Nene Husbando Collection.
But unfortunately for her, though, she went to the wrong guy. She basically went to like Japanese Keemstar. Is like, I don't know very much about the subject. I literally just followed this like the week after everything happened, and a lot of other people were just like telling me stuff online, so I take it with a grain of salt. But
that's what I've heard though about the guy that like really set a lot of this off, is that the dude is a streamer himself, and he has started getting a lot into VTubers, but he's been around for a while, and he is essentially the Japanese Keemstar.
Yeah, basically it was someone that she thought she could help. She thought he could help clear her name, because she was trying to clarify some things, but then he
made it worse.
She made it a lot worse, because she's kind of an airhead, and she basically violated the one of Clover's contracts, and that's why she's terminated now. Because at the very beginning, Clover did come out and say, like, even if they are in, like, we don't ban our idols from having relationships. So we're going to stand by Rushia.
I was actually really surprised that when they came out as quick as they did, right? When all this started popping off, like within 24 hours or so, they released a statement. It's like, listen, guys, we don't control the personal lives of our talent. That's up to them. So yeah, they're basically saying that some of our talent probably has boyfriends, girlfriends, significant others, maybe even husbands and wives. Who knows?
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I was just about to ask, like, back when Kason was you-know-who, wasn't she also in a relationship with, like, someone or something like that? And was
she's in a relationship with Kiryu.
She has, her husband is Kiryu Kazuma from Yakuza.
All right, goddamn.
Yeah, come on, man. She's been in love with this man for over 10 years.
Like, and I know it's become a joke within like the VTuber and Hololab community, but I'm 100% convinced that Korone and Okayu are fucking a couple.
Oh my god.
God, I hope they are. I really hope they are. Like, they're just so tay together, man. Anyway, this isn't just about VTubers though. So,
I mean, heck, like in idol culture for ages, it's been like sort of like taboo for some of them to be like seen publicly.
100%.
Another
no,
male
there
idol.
was
not just taboo, against the rules of their contracts.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah,
because
so
it would like
there's
hurt their image.
So there's because it hurts sales because they know their demographic of the people who come watch their shows and buy their merch.
Yep, which
fucking
is so
basement
fucked up.
dwelling weebs who apparently think they have a shot with these super hot girls, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, man, perfect blue all over again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But what was the thing I was gonna bring up? Holy shit.
Well, John, you and I have talked about this off stream and off recordings a lot about how you and I really do like idol content, but we hate idol culture. It is
Idol
so
culture is so
fucking
fucked up.
toxic.
It's so.
Oh
fucked
yeah,
up.
like so I remember there was I want to say a Japanese actress or a voice actress. I don't remember which, but they got married. Like no one knew she was like even dating anyone while she was in the industry. And then once she decided to retire, she was like, "Oh, also I'm getting married." And then like everyone was like, "Oh no, you've broken my heart. I can't believe you'd play with us like this." And I'm like, "Bro, come on." First of all, she's like 30 now. Like, get real. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you think that she wouldn't be dating someone. What's wrong with you?
It's so funny to me that a lot of the people who are like idol fans or even VTuber fans, because let's be honest, a lot of the people, the talent behind the VTubers that you love, they're kind of young. They're in their late teens to 20s, maybe even early 30s. Think about what you're asking them to give up, right? You're asking them to give up some of the best years of their life, not trying to seek out relationships. Like, come on.
Yeah, like I know I've talked about it before, but like in the K-pop industry, for example, they are super big, at least back then. They're not so big on it anymore, but back then they were super against having a relationship. Like a fucking scandal would be if they were seen with another dude just outside of like their group. Like if this is someone they've never like they're not supposed to be interacting with, if they were just caught just like outside with someone, like fucking God forbid they're holding hands, you know, like
they might get pregnant from doing that.
Well, no, might get pregnant from that.
Like
John.
legitimately, it would end their career. Just being caught by the paparazzi, just being out with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have to release actual press statements of like, "Sorry, I'm so sorry this has happened. I'm so embarrassed." And I'm just like, that's so fucked up. Like, I mean, I get that it's part of the industry, and again, they're the fucking weirdos are the ones who are giving you money, but it's so toxic, man. Like, why can't we just be happy for the people who entertain us and who give us content, right? Like
exactly.
But it's kind of like a hard line to figure out, like, to what extent is it like the responsibility on the creators and on the audience? Like, there's a line there that needs to be like sort of like, I think like for most, like some creators will, as we said, like will exploit that sort of relationship. But I think a lot of creators should like make that like very, very like strict line about, all right, I make this content. I want it's for your guys' entertainment, but like I don't know you guys obviously because this is like as we are right now. We are like someone's listening to this podcast. We're just audio and on device or whatever. There is like a sort of distance that is between us and the audience, like whether we want it or not, you know. And I think some creators again just don't make that sort of distinction, but. It's hard to tell like when a creator like didn't make that sort of like distinction and when he did, you know, it's like very different between creators.
Well, especially with like online creators, like so for example, Iron Mouse. So for you guys who don't know, Iron Mouse is also a VTuber who is part of oh my god, I almost said Niji Sanji. She's VShojo. And when she first started out, she suffers from a rare disease, and basically it's got her bedridden. She can't really meet anyone like in real life without dying. So she leaned into doing the whole online thing, and her like she had to learn hard lessons about parasocial relationships because of this, because she got really close to a lot of her fans, and it was just not healthy behavior. Because like, first of all, when you learn about her circumstances, like you're empathetic towards her situation. Like my heart goes out to that girl. Like it's so sad that every month she's got to pay like $30,000 to get fucking plasma transfusions, and she's always in pain.
And honestly, good for her on her recent success. Really, like
I'm so happy that she's gotten a lot more popular.
Yes, and she is a great reminder out there that if you can donate blood and you can donate plasma, please do it, because there are actual real living people that need that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, and she's also in a very weird parasocial relationship status right now with everyone ships her with Connor.
With Connor, right?
And I ship them together too because they're just so fucking cute together, man. Like
I know, right?
90% of the fandom just ship them together, and I would not be mad in the slightest if they came out officially like, yeah, we've been dating. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. You know what? Since this stream 4 months ago, I knew you guys have been acting different. Like, fucking clip it and ship it, boys. Like, we got him.
No, I can see John doing the whole like conspiracy theory meme thing. Like, I told you guys. I fucking told you guys.
But see, and that's the toxic mentality that I'm talking about. Like, people, when we like, even though we're online content creators, we also like. I speak for myself. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I also get emotionally invested in like online personalities.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like, I fucking love Iron Mouse and Connor. Like, I'm super invested in their relationship.
Yeah,
I am super invested in Markiplier. Like, Marky Moo, for whatever reason, I've just been addicted to watching his stuff for like the last 2 years of my life. And I am so interested in everything this man does. Like, everything that he does, and I'm just like, is Amy all right? Is Chico all right? Like, are you all right? Like, what are you doing, Mark? Like, what's new, man? Like, if I ever saw him, I'd be like, hey, what's up, dude? And I'd feel like I know him, but the problem is I don't fucking know him. I only know the character that he plays online, and that creates this unhealthy type of, not mentality, but unhealthy type of expectation that if you saw them in real life, like Connor mentioned this before when he was still getting started, but there was a guy that he invited with him to go to Anime Expo, and he was like,
oh, right.
He thought they were like best buds, you know? And he was just like, no, bro, I just know you from like the Discord chat. Like, we all came here to split the cost of the room and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't actually know you. And the guy was like, he was creepy and shit. He was like, why didn't you invite me to the party with Giga and Joey? And he was like, because they don't know you, bro. I don't know you like that, bro. And I'm just like, it's that type of like stuff that's super scary.
Oh yeah,
because
I think there's also this thing with online content creators, because that's a lot of what we're talking about here. It's like there's this expectation of them to be always online, to be always accessible in a way that really there hasn't been before with things like movie stars, TV stars, athletes, and especially not since the rise of social media, where everyone has access to seemingly everyone at all times.
Oh yeah, like so I remember Garnt also said something about him and the boys or something were like going to karaoke, and some fan of the Trash Taste podcast found them.
Like found them and sort of joined them.
They literally followed them into the karaoke place and like got sent up with them, and he was like, bro, what the hell? Like, I don't know who you are. Like, they went to some bar, he met them, and then the guy followed them to the karaoke place, and then he found out somehow what room they were in doing karaoke, and he just shows up.
That's weird.
Garnt and the boys are just like, what the hell? Like, that is weird. And I get it. Like, you've been listening to the podcast for X amount of years. You know everything about their stories, because a lot of content creators put a lot of their life out there, right?
Oh yeah,
like that
they do.
But people forget that these people, like, they share as much as like they are willing to share about themselves online. Like,
they share what they want to share.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you might watch this like VTubers like streaming like 10 hours a day, 5 days a week or something like that, but you don't know what they're like when they're taking a shit, you know? That's like part of their private life, and it's not your right to like
I know exactly what John is like when he's taking a shit, because usually he's texting me while he's on the toilet.
I do a lot of my critical thinking on the can. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
That's when you get your news from.
He'll send me something at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, dude, have we ever done an episode of the podcast about da-da-da-da? And I'm like, you're shitting right now, aren't you?
That's beside the point.
That's where John gets his views, you know.
Listen, my porcelain throne has nothing to do with this. I feel attacked right now, guys.
What we've learned is John stores his brain in the toilet.
So, I know we just talked about getting too personal, but so back in middle school and even throughout high school, even right now, I guess not right now as much anymore, but back in school days, middle school and high school days, I used to do my homework in the toilet.
Oh my god, how?
Like, I don't know what it is about being in a small boxed room where I'm just on the shitter, but I just think better on there, man. I don't know.
You would just thrive in a capsule hotel, wouldn't you?
Oh
I don't know.
God.
It's just conducive for me to think, and I just the work just starts flowing because I got no other distractions around me.
I think because
guess
something
it's
else
changed.
is flowing while you're in the shitter.
Yeah, I think there's something else that might be flowing in the bathroom.
I think it's because back then I didn't have a cell phone, and that's what has really changed. Because I was so fucking bored. You literally had nothing to do but homework. So,
Dude, I used to read books while taking a shit.
well, that's pretty common. I feel
Am I
like
the
people
only
still...
one that just goes to the bathroom to take a piss and shit? Like, I just get out, I get in, do my business, and leave. I don't sit
In
there
and
for
out.
hours on my phone or read.
You know, it's
books
funny.
or-
So, like, I'm not sure if anyone else can relate, but back in the day when I didn't have a cell phone or anything like that, when I went to go take a shit, I'd read like soap bottles and stuff, chemical labels. Like, oh yes, that's exact. Oh my, I didn't know it. You had that. Wow, because I didn't know what else to do while I'm shitting, dude.
Well, I know what we were getting for John on his birthday.
Just
What
give
a
him a bunch of fucking reading material for the toilet, I guess.
Listen, you think it's just for like 50-year-old dads who want to read crossword and do Sudoku on the shitter? No, this is for people like me.
That's funny.
But trying to bring this back to some semblance of a topic, I guess. But yeah, Natai was right. Like, people are only sharing, what they want you to see, with especially with online content creators. Now, granted, there are some online content creators who are pretty much the way they are online, offline. I mean, there are a few. But those are the exception more than the rule, I think. I think a lot of times with content creators, particularly things like VTubers and game streamers, I mean, what you see is not what you get if you meet this person, IRL.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like if you met Chris Broad in real life, you'd be like, man, what a fucking asshole.
Chris
or-
Broad cracks me up all the time.
Oh
Or
yeah,
if you met Charlie in real life, you probably, wow, he really is that fucking monotone. Okay.
yeah.
He'd
there's
send
some
him to the
guys
Shadow
that-
Realm.
It's literally
You'd
send you to the
fucking-
Shadow Realm for staring at him.
There are definitely some people who their online persona is just them, but online. But I think for a lot of people, they're just, I don't know. I feel like everyone has masks, right? And
Yeah.
the person that I am online is definitely not the person I am in real life. Mainly because, I don't know, part of it is when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about, I get real weird. But you can't really do that in real life to people who are normal because then it makes you look like a fucking weirdo. So I worry a lot about being too weird because sometimes someone will ask me about something and then I'll be like, I have a wealth of knowledge of random shit. And they'll be like, why do you know all this? I'm like, no reason.
Because I have a lot of free time.
Because I just like learning, man. I just know random shit.
Because I spend all my time shitting, learning about stuff.
I forget
like
that one
the
time
other
on
day,
stream where you were like, why do you remember these villains from stupid COD games? I'm like, I don't know, man. My mind is full of
Yeah, exactly.
like useless knowledge.
No, like, because, so at my last job, I used to have to use ammonia to do a lot of stuff. So I learned about how to handle ammonia, how to off-gas it, like how it works and stuff like that when it interacts with water and stuff like that, right? So, because I don't know how my coworkers, we just started talking about urinals, and one of them asked about, like, the ice urinals and like why is there ice in urinals? I'm like, actually the reason for that is because, and then they were just like, why the fuck
is
do you
there
know
ice
that?
in urinals? Hold on.
Okay, so your urine has ammonia in it, right? And ammonia evaporates at body temperature or room temperature or your body temperature, which is higher than room temperature, ambient room temperature, right?
Okay.
So ammonia evaporates really fast and it makes that really stinky urine smell. So if you use ice, it'll cool down the liquid enough that the water will mix in with it, dilute it. Plus, because it's colder, it won't evaporate as fast, so it doesn't have a strong smell, as strong of a smell.
Oh shit.
So, yeah. So again, why do I know that? I don't know. I worked in a company where I had to deal with ammonia all the time, so I learned a little bit about ammonia. Like, I just know random shit. Don't ask. Why do you know the perfect way to get rid of body? I don't know. Don't ask me, man.
Why
Don't
do you
ask
know
these
this stuff?
questions,
Oh,
you
I
don't-
don't know. I just know. Don't walk away from me. Don't leave, Dad.
I don't know. I'm just like a walking fucking factoid of just random shit that's just useless in everyday life, but I just know stuff. So people think I'm smart, and that's all that matters. As long as people think I'm smart, that's all that really matters in life, guys.
So that's true. You don't have to actually be smart. Just pretend to be smart.
No,
Most
just
times that's enough.
The sad reality of it is, as long as you say stuff with confidence, people are gonna probably believe you, especially if they don't know anything about it.
Dude,
See,
when I
the
was
way,
in like
the
a,
way you
when
can
I
get,
was
the way
in-
you can get your way in most situations is dress halfway decently, carry a clipboard, walk and speak with confidence. You will get into and get away with so much doing those three things.
That's what literally one of the things they taught us in bartender school is like, someone was like, but what if they ask for like a very specific
Wait, hold on,
Hold
back
on.
up,
I didn't
back
know
up.
this about you, Natai.
You were a bartender? What is this?
I mean, I used to like go to a bartending school, and then like I had
What?
like, one job as a bartender, but it was like,
Holy shit. You
Yeah,
wanted to
but
become a mixologist, and there's an actual school to be like a mixologist? No shit.
Yeah, sort of. It's like, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun in that school because that's when I realized I love both whiskey and cocktails, because it's like the best ever. And one of the things
That's just school, though. You learn to just put up with douchebags that come up.
Dude,
and go,
like,
a martini, shaken.
just so
next
you
to
realize, after going to that school, one of my fantasies was to open a fucking bar that's just like Queen Deckim from Death Parade. Just to be clear. One day.
Is it bad? My first thought was, have you guys seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, I still haven't. I want to watch it.
Oh,
What are
okay.
you
So my
thinking of
first
that?
thought was Patty's Pub. Like, we're going to open up Patty's Pub, but for ACAD. Like, that's my first thought. And we're going to sell, like...
Caddy's Pub.
Caddy's Pub. There we go. Like, there we
Oh my
go.
God.
You know,
So-
ACAD's branching out, baby.
So one of the things they taught us there is like, someone will ask, well, what if someone's like really looking for something very specific and I'm not sure of it, and then they said something along the lines of like, whether it's right or wrong, just bullshit and you'll be fine. Like bullshit with
honestly,
confidence
yeah.
and you'll be fine. Yeah, bullshit with confidence specifically.
So again, getting back to what we were actually talking about, I think that with online content creators, there is a certain amount of like parasocial relationship that it's inevitable, right? If you actually follow a content creator and you like their content, there's some amount of parasocial relationship that develops there, and as long as you maintain a healthy distance, I think that's fine, because there's a difference between creepy stalker and avid admirer.
Yeah.
So, to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because you know me, I like to play both sides, baby. Anyway, so...
Oh my god, that was very
It's
arousing.
not what your girlfriend told me.
Oh. Anyway, so, where was I going with this?
God damn it, Alex.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate. Thank you for
Playing
bringing
both
me
sides.
back here. Playing both sides, baby. So, whenever people upload like fan art to our Discord, I get the warm fuzzies on the inside,
fucking
because I'm
love
like, I
Oh, me
fucking
too.
love seeing people interact with us and like doing things like that, you know, or like when they stop by the stream and they know running jokes, or like the people who always show up, like they hold a very special place in my heart, and I would be lying if I said that I didn't care a lot more about these people who show up all the time than like new fans. Because, you know, I get it. It's the person who's been there from the get-go, and they just hold a special place in your heart of like, you've been there for me from the very beginning. You know, you're my OG fan. You're the OG 93%. So I need to just stop stealing shit from Connor, man. Like I'm just stealing.
It's a mine, dude. It's a gold mine of jokes. It's so good.
But yeah, so I would be lying if I said I didn't care about them a lot more than I care about like more recent fans or people who don't interact with us a lot. However, I do draw a line in the sand of like, you know, there's still rules that applies to everyone, and if you get overly like assholey or you're just not following our like rules of being respectful towards other podcast members, then I'll probably shit can you, like,
Or
I
other
shit can other
followers.
yeah, like, it's just, it's weird because I do know what it's like to, like, feel like these people, the diehard fans, are, like, the true ones who care about you, because they're the only ones who show up, they're the only ones who talk to us, they're the only ones who give us money, and stuff like that, so...
And by the way, thank you.
I feel like... Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I feel like we owe them content, so I get why people engage very overly friendly with these type of people, because... they kind of are what's driving you. Like, of course, your entire fan base is what drives you to do what you love to do, create content and put it out there. However, it would be a lie to say that the people who are like, that I think it was the statistic is 1% of your fan base is going to be the ones who actually like help you monetize and like buy your stuff and whatnot, and they're kind of the ones carrying you. They're the ones who make it so you can do what you do,
like,
and
like fair to them for their sake to like be upfront with them about certain topics like that, and just be clear about some boundaries.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's important definitely to have boundaries set. Like obviously that fucking Twitch mod who met her in real life and then fucking started stalking her. Not really. She was live streaming. And this was happening,
That's
by the
so
way.
Yeah, and the dude just comes up to her and is like, starts giving her money, and I'm like, okay,
yeah, he was like,
I'm all for people on the street just giving me free money. I'm not gonna not take it, but
well, no, it's like he lived like
friend, time and place.
I think he lived like 3 towns over or something, and so he saw her live streaming, and he was a mod, so he knew like what she was gonna do that day, so he just decided to show up and be like a supportive fan in real life. So in your head, it's all rosy and nice and cool and stuff. In real life, it definitely does not translate that way because, first of all, don't show up to things uninvited. That's weird. Like,
Respect
if we ever go back
space,
to like, if we all get together and do a panel, for example, at like Anime Expo or Otakon or wherever, and then we go to a bar afterwards, and we're all hanging out with like our friends, and then you see us and you guys want to say hi and hang out for a little bit while we're at the bar. That's fine. That's cool. Come and say hi. We're normal people. Sure, we'll have a drink for you, 1 or 2, whatever. We'll take pictures, autographs, whatever. But after we're done with the bar, for example, don't follow us and
Back
be like,
to our hotel room.
Are you guys going to the other bar over there? You guys gonna go eat over there? Oh, why don't we tag along? It's like, I don't really know you, and again, thank you for your support and stuff like that. However, this is kind of creepy behavior.
It's very important to remember, like, these people are like at the end of the day people, and each person has his own personal space that they really appreciate to be respected, because at the end of the day we all just want to like be happy and be like feel we are safe in our like own space, right? And it's kind of a shame people forget that.
There's a healthy way to go about this. I mean, good example, maybe not a good example, but it's an example from my own personal experience. A few years ago, when I was at Otakon, one of the guests that was there was Yo-Yo Shinari from Studio Trigger. And I have made no secret on this podcast about how much I love Studio Trigger. I love Little Witch Academia, which is one of the shows at Trigger that Yo-Yo Shinari helped create. And I noticed him when I was out at a ramen bar in DC. I noticed that he was in one of the back tables. I didn't approach him. I recognized who he was. I didn't approach him, but I did buy him a beer.
Nice.
That's all I did. And when he looked over because the server pointed to who bought him the beer, and I just raised my beer and he raised it back to me.
Yeah.
That's healthy parasocial relationship right there because there's distance.
What Alex didn't tell you is that he had the waitress slip his own number and room key to him with the drink.
I mean,
I'm just imagining Alex like giving him the very obvious wink, like,
yeah, like, yeah, boy, I'll see you later.
I definitely think there can be healthy parts to a parasocial relationship. Like again, they're real people, and so. This makes me think of the Garnt and Sydney story again. So when Garnt and Sydney were like, I think this was in the early stages of them dating or something, and then he had to say goodbye to Sydney, and they're like in tears, and some dude was like, "Yo, is that you, Garnt? Can I get a photo?" Even though they're like having a touching farewell.
Like, yeah, there's a time and place.
And it's like, at what point do we just blame the fans? Like. TPO, right? Time, place, and occasion for everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, some fans are, some people are just like that, just like...
Wait, hold on. Oh, no. The story got even better, because not only did this guy approach Garton, like, hey, can I get a photo? There's Sydney in tears, and the dude goes, can you take the photo for us? To Sydney.
That's so funny.
Who's saying goodbye to Gart. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Have you never stepped outside? What is wrong with you?
Let's be honest though, like a lot of these people don't step outside.
That's
so
true.
much.
They do not, as the kids say, touch grass.
A lot of people who like really deep in these sort of parasocial relationships, like whether it's people like donate a lot of money for VTubers or even people who like use OnlyFans and whatnot, they don't have that sort of interaction with outside people. And that's why they put so much stock in these relationships that they have with like these online personalities.
Because it's the only relationships they feel like they can get.
And I understand that 99% of the fan base do not act like that, right? Like 99% of the fan base have common sense. They wouldn't approach you in these weird situations and do weird shit.
The 93%.
The 90. But it's just like, I don't know how I feel about telling someone to fuck off like right away like that, because it's just an awkward thing. You know, I don't like having interactions where I got to tell people to fuck off. Especially if there's someone who's like a diehard fan, because it's just like...
I don't suppose most people would like that.
Yeah, it's just an awkward interaction to have, but sometimes you just gotta be that asshole. Like, eventually, I guess if you got famous enough and you've been... Well, if you get famous enough and you've been famous for long enough, you start not giving a fuck, right? Like, for example, Marshawn Lynch, a running back? What the fuck was his position?
Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
Who's that
receiver? I think
he's running back, right? Listen, I don't football. Go sports.
What's even football?
Yeah, he is a running back. You made me doubt this. Like, he's a fucking running back.
I couldn't listen.
Like, wait a minute.
26 hours. 26 hours awake. I don't fucking remember.
But
anyway,
why? But John, why is he holding the ball with his hand? You're supposed to kick it with your foot, right?
Shut up. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's the worst joke you could ever make. I get it.
I swear to God, if you do, Ty, if you do come to Otakon later this year, I'm taking you to a baseball game.
Dude, I'm down. Let's do it.
Because the Washington Nationals are in town during Otakon.
Wait. Baseball or football? Make up your mind.
No, football wouldn't be during Otakon.
Yeah, football is a fall and winter sport, not a summer and spring.
Of course. How could I know?
But I mean, that's like preseason would be like August, right?
Yeah, it's toward the end of August, beginning of September.
Anyway, so like like Marshawn Lynch, for example, my sister saw him at a restaurant actually, and she wanted to say hi to him. He's just sitting there at his table chilling. He's got bodyguards and everything, and he's just there by himself trying to enjoy a meal. And my sister wants to go up and say hello and get a picture, right? And he just blows her the fuck off. And she was just like, man, what a fucking asshole, right? And I also was like, man, what a fucking asshole, because I've met baseball players before. My dad's met baseball players before. He's met Brett Boone, Edgar Martinez. He's got them to sign his fucking cap and stuff. Like, there are definitely ways to interact with people. However, time, place, and occasion. Later now, I realize, like, my sister probably should have asked for permission first instead of coming up like, oh my God, Marshawn, I'm such a big fan. Can I get a picture of this and that? He's like, no. I'm like, I'm eating. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I'm like, man, if you're going to eat, why you got to eat at the restaurant? Just take your shit and go back to your mansion, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Is such a good rule of thumb, honestly.
Well, it's like, so for when my dad met Brett Boone and Edgar Martinez, they're at the casino. They liked to go to Muckleshoot Casino. My dad was there, and they were gambling, and he met them. And he was like, hey, I love you guys. Like, I've been a fan of the Mariners since I came into America, and blah, 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 this and that. And he got their autograph. Real cool, right? Because they were there to gamble and they're just interacting, and I feel like that was a good way to interact. You know, you're already there mingling with people. Like, well, I guess they were at the high rollers table, but you're still mingling with the people. Versus if you're sitting down at a public place, but you obviously have guards stationed to keep people away. I feel like a little bit of common sense would have been like, you know what? Maybe if you say, hey, Marshawn, what's up, man? That, you know, just leave it at that. Don't go up to them and be like, hey, can I get a photo? I love you, this and that. Like, I think he's here for a reason to, you know, just be here to chill out. And because, you know, people don't have to be on all the time, especially for you. Like, as much as I hate that I feel that way, because, again, I hate that. I feel like we owe fans stuff, right? Because we give them content and they give us money. They give us sponsorships, this and that, right? I feel like we owe them, but at the same time, we don't actually owe them. And it's a weird feeling to have, and that's why it's hard to define a solid line, because we can say, use common sense, right? Use common sense for everything. But if I did that, I would never interact with any famous people I ever came across. Common sense dictates that, you know what? If they don't want to sign my stuff, they shouldn't have to. I shouldn't approach them whenever I see them. But at the same time, I get that you're starstruck, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's freaking, I don't know, some famous person.
But
Insert
just, like,
famous
a matter of
person here.
respecting this, like I remember watching this like YMS video, Your Movie Sucks, and it's just like, and he talked about how this one time he saw Bong Joon-ho, and like the what is he, like the South Korean director. Or am I mixing- yeah.
He created
Parasite. Yeah, Parasite, and it just like, and he just filmed. Like the guy was stormed by these fans, like taking autographs, and he just took a video of like, oh, it's Bong Joon-ho, cool, and that's it. So like just respecting other people's like space, I think it's very, very important. And like I think,
like John says, like it's such a great rule. Time plays occasion.
Yeah.
Like there are places rather where it's a-okay to approach, content creators, celebrities. Like if you're at a convention and the celebrity happens to be there, especially if they're at a designated place that they say they're going to be, great time to approach them. Maybe get an autograph, a picture, whatever. While they're out eating with their family, probably not a great idea. It's like there's that thing with Dave Chappelle talked about it once, where he tried to take his family to Disney World and with his kids, and people kept coming up to him going, Rick James,
bitch. Yeah, I remember this. I remember this story.
And people kept coming up to him over and over again and just calling him a bitch in front of his kids, and I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah, like obviously, I get it. People are tone deaf to situations. So remember we were at Anime Expo? I actually ran into Hachi OGP, one of the he's like a music producer. He does like Vocaloid music and stuff. He also has regular music, but
yeah,
I ran into him in the bathroom. Like he was coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, oh my god, it's Hachi OGP. Oh my god, like should I say hi? Should I stop him and get his autograph? Should I shake his hand? And then I was just like, oh, hey, I love your music. And he's like, oh, thank you. And he just leaves. And I'm just like, whew, fucking nailed it, man. Solid interaction. You're a normal human.
Pat yourself.
Because I was like, that's kind of... Well, because it was like, it's an awkward thing, right? He just came out of the fucking bathroom, probably took a piss or something. His hands were still fucking wet. Hopefully he washed his hands and just didn't dry and wasn't piss. Maybe it was piss and I've been marked with good luck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So... doesn't matter. Point is... time, place, and occasion. Like, my first thought instantly was, oh my god, it's Haji OGP. I love this dude's music. He just dropped this new album. I fucking loved it. And I can't speak Japanese, so I can't talk to this guy. But I was like, do I ask for a photo? Do I ask for a fucking autograph? Like, what do I do? And I just said, oh, hey, I love your stuff. Good job. And I did a thumbs up. And he's like, oh, thank you. And thumbs up. And he leaves. And I'm just like, solid. Like... I kicked myself in the ass because I was like, oh, you should have asked for an autograph. What the fuck's wrong with you? You fucking met Hachi OGP. You're never going to fucking meet him again. But now I'd look back and I'm like, you know what? Solid interaction. Didn't make it weird. Let him get back to the set. Keep it cool.
I have a similar story about meeting a dude in a celebrity in a bathroom.
Oh, I think you told this before. Okay.
I don't think I'm not sure if I have.
Not on the podcast, but I remember like one Discord call you told me about it.
I don't remember if I have or not, but several years ago I was at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix, which is an IndyCar race that's held every year in St. Petersburg, Florida. I had backstage or behind the scenes like a paddock pass. And after qualifying, I went to the bathroom and like into the bathroom steps fucking Mario Andretti, living fucking legend, Mario Andretti, one of the greatest motorsports drivers of all time. And his grandson, Marco Andretti, was, well, and still is, racing at the time, and he had qualified second for the race, and he was like a couple of stalls down from me taking a piss, and I just looked over and said, Marco did good today, and he's like, yeah, he did.
See, that's nice.
You should have walked up to him, let me shake your hand. Piss and everything. Let's shake hands, man.
Like Alex just going as close as possible to him. It's like,
yeah.
Any other time, like there was this like intense desire within me. It's like, God, ask him about 1969. Ask him about the 1969 Indy 500. God damn it, ask him about the 1969 Indy 500. It's like, no, this is not the time.
You're such a dork, Alex.
Yeah. Well, it's because I get, like I said, it's hard to not be starstruck when you meet someone that you're like, oh my god, you're a fucking legend. I love your stuff. I've been a fan for so many years. But it's definitely hard to keep your cool. But yeah, we have to establish healthy boundaries. And I feel like even if content creators don't tell you like, hey, you should back off, we should all be more like aware of situations.
I think a lot of this also does stem from just a general lack of social awareness.
Again, the whole starstruck and being that entire thing is just a stressful situation where you're just like, oh my god, like this is a once in a lifetime chance. I'm probably never gonna meet you ever again. And I get it. I've been starstruck. I've met plenty of famous people too, and I'm just like, oh my god, again, but we gotta, as people who consume media, as people who like content creators and stuff like that, we gotta know to be aware. And as much as it hurts to say that, like, I hope I follow my own advice. Hopefully, like, years from now, a video doesn't surface of me doing something super insensitive to, like, some famous person that I meet.
Showing up to Iron Mouse's house and throwing money in plasma at her. Like, take it all!
Suddenly, Takon Lisa shows up and you're like, oh, my queen!
It'd be Rie Kugumiya first and foremost, sir.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Honestly, so right now, it'll be over by the time this episode goes out, but right now the whole Live Expo is going on, and it's like one of the things they have there is a booth where you can actually talk to Sakura Miko, and I'm like, yes, please?
Wait, like real life, or it's the virtual thing, right? Where you get to meet her avatar in a booth?
You can go into a booth, and like you're not talking to the person, that you're talking to their virtual avatar, but it's actually them talking.
It's like one.
I don't remember who it was in Hollow Live that was like they cosplayed themselves or something and went to a convention, and everyone was like, "Oh, cool cosplay," and it was actually them in cosplay,
wow, that's so cool.
But no one knew.
I forget who that was, but I do know that during streams sometimes that Kiara does cosplay as herself.
With the when you see her hands.
No, I wouldn't doubt that. She seems like she seems overly invested in her character.
So does Ollie. Yeah,
I don't doubt that. But I don't know what other way to wrap this up other than on a good note of like, thank you guys out there for listening into us and supporting us. I'm really thankful. Like I honestly never thought we'd grow this big, because this is more of a side hobby kind of thing. This is a stupid startup podcast that we started X amount of years ago just to riff. I really didn't expect to blow up like this, like as we have been now. And here's to the future, and here's to more people making fond memories with us, and that. Please do not ask to shake our hands if we're taking a piss.
Please.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't mind.
Oh my god. All right, if you guys want to shake anyone's hands, shake Natai's hands.
Yeah, I mean, John's right. I mean, I don't want to speak for all of us, but I've personally, I appreciate all of our fans, but the ones that have been around for a long time, and the ones who just found us recently, the ones who come to our streams, the ones who listen to our podcast, who just sit in our Discord and talk about, all the anime that are airing currently and what they like and what they don't like about it. The fact that you take time and energy and effort out of your day to engage with what we do means a lot to us.
Yeah,
please don't stalk us.
Yeah, Discord is great. Like, I'm really happy with the community that we have on Discord, especially.
Yeah.
So, side tangent. I love it when people leave comments on our YouTube videos telling me how fucking wrong I am about something because I misremembered. Because I'm just like,
you say that, but like, so in our recent episode that we put out about the second half of Mushoku Tensei, there's like 4 or 5 comments that people are like explaining things that were never in the anime. They were in the fucking light novel, and I'm like, yeah, but it was a spoiler cast for the anime.
Well, I just see, it's a beautiful thing when you're passionate about something and you interact with other people who are passionate about the same thing, or just passionate about the things that they love in general. Because I don't know what it is about just watching people passionate about that, but
it's contagious. It's very contagious,
I don't know, man. Like, there's an anime, Boku Mina Kawaiso or something. It's a stupid one about some lady that likes to read books, but basically the protagonist reads a book to try to get close to this girl, and then he has differing opinions from her, and he's like, oh my god, I ruined my relationship chances with her, and she's being happy because someone's actually has an opinion that's not aligned with hers, so she can actually talk more about it. I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love that type of interaction with other people. Like, tell me if I'm wrong.
that's why.
Correct me.
I think that's why
debate.
we're that's why we're here on the podcast. I think because we have that interaction all the time when we record.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit here and just have conversations with the people who agree with everything that we say. Like, even when Natai and I are doing our Monogatari spoiler cast, like, both of us love Monogatari, but we like different parts of it for different reasons, and he and I don't exactly see certain parts of Monogatari the exact same way.
Mm-hmm. But then we
proceed
to jerk off Nisio Isin's dick because it's so good.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
You mentioned, John mentioned comments, and I pulled one up recently that we got on an older episode of our podcast. I really want to read this out loud. I'm not going to say who read it. I didn't, like, report it or anything. I actually ended up pinning this comment because it made me laugh. But it's for an episode of the podcast we did probably around this time last year. Called Ranking Isekai Protagonists.
Oh no.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
Like this, I know this guy thinks that he's like insulting us, or girl, I don't know. I don't judge. This person thinks that they're probably insulting us. And I don't judge. Like, I just thought it was funny. I'm just going to read this out loud. It says, wow, just wow. What the heck kind of ranking is this? This looks like something that belongs on CBR. I want to watch the videos, skip to when the list was done, and see y'all's reasonings, but I'm afraid to find out what kind of reasoning conjures up a list like this. So I'm just going to leave off with this. How in the world are Sora, Rimuru, Ainz, and Diablo A and above? Putting Diablo in B, no, actually C is the equivalent of making him an A. But characters with genuine depth like Cosma and Seiya can't even surpass the average C tier. And how are Naofumi still can't believe it, Subaru in the F tier? Naofumi. Hold on. Naofumi is high D tier at worst, so he's somewhat understandable, but putting Subaru Natsuki of all people anywhere below B tier, an easy S tier character, but whatever, I can compromise to extent, let alone an F tier, is like having sex with your biological mom, dad, sister, brother, a horrendous action that you'd think would never have been done by anyone, but then you learn that the world has myriad people that have unique ways of surprising you.
Oh my
Just
God.
Chef's kiss.
Wow.
I love this comment so much.
This is why I pinned it. I know this person thinks they're like insulting us, but this is a beautiful example of a YouTube comment right here.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, like, first and foremost, I'm pretty sure we preface that, like, this is just our bullshit ranking. Like, there was no real thought or reason to it other than we like it.
Yeah.
Like,
and
then we just or we don't like it. Like it. But I see, even comments like that I fucking love, because I'm like, you know what? That was fucking hilarious. And good on you for calling us out and saying, you know what? That's bullshit. Because you know what? That gives me more perspective onto why I think all of your taste is trash. And the fucking 180. You thought I was going to fucking say thank you for your comment? No, motherfucker, you're fucking wrong.
John is getting canceled.
I know, right?
But the fact that this person spent the time to interact means something to me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, again, like even that comment, like I don't think it was. I have to believe it was more facetious than anything, but truly, maybe he truly believes, they truly believe that Subaru is S tier, and you know what? Plenty of people think that. Then there's me. I think he's trash.
Though, is just makes it perfect.
Yeah,
it's a very high effort comment, which I appreciate.
You know what? That's actually Charlie's like alt account. He's actually a fan of the podcast, and he just don't want. He actually gets all of his content ideas from us.
I don't know, man.
Just letting
like,
you know.
Like there wasn't any mention of the Shadow Realm in that comment, so I doubt it's
there
Charlie.
was no mention
Oh
of Shadow
shit!
Realm
You're
in this
right.
comment.
You're right.
Charlie's the only man I know who can elegantly weave into his sentences.
Nor was
the
there.
Shadow
I mean,
Realm.
there was a mention of incest, but there was no mention of a hard throbbing dick
or titties.
or titties.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure
Anyway.
this is not Charlie.
Point is,
I like how there's a checklist for did Charlie say this? Perfect Charlie video.
Yep.
anyways, point is, I love comments like that. Keep them coming, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's fun when people interact, and I don't think any of these comments have been that disrespectful so far. Like, you can state your opinions. You can debate us and say, well, I think you're fucking wrong. Like,
And
that's
people
cool.
have.
Yeah, you can tell me I'm wrong.
That's what
I'm
we
a
do on
big
the
boy.
podcast. We tell each other that they're wrong all the time.
Yeah, because everyone's wrong except me. So
That's the thing. When you have the power of the editor in
on
chief,
the
yeah.
podcast. What are you talking about?
I control the podcast, so technically I'm always right. Just letting you know.
That's true. You
I
did
am
edit,
the
You did edit a
podcast.
clip together to make me say I was a furry.
I am the podcast.
I didn't edit that. That was part of the entire pod. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You can't prove otherwise.
Uh-huh. But no, and it's like, yeah, the praise is good, but constructive criticism can be just as helpful too. Like, I've learned more about, being a content creator from the constructive criticism some of our followers have given than just the praise. It's like, oh, that was great, keep it up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also just like shit posting in general. Like,
That too.
it gives me a laugh.
That's always good.
Shitposting is what makes the world turn, after all.
That's right. Just look at Charlie. His entire existence is a shitpost. What are you talking
I
about?
respect that man for making a video about sticking wheels to the sides of big dildos and making a race out of that. Like, good on him. Good on him.
Oh my god.
It does take a certain amount of creativity to come up with that, and I do respect it. My hat's off to you, sir.
Look at you guys simping over Charlie. What did I just say about parasocial relationships and fucking boundaries, guys? Did we not learn anything in this last fucking hour of recording? God damn it.
I mean, I know
Well, I
his
have to go
address, and
sim
I'm
for-
planning to travel to meet him. So like, I'm sure he's a very good friend of mine. After all, I mean,
Of course.
But I have to end this because I have to go simp for some VTubers out there. So thank you all out
my
there for
God.
dropping in to listen to us. Check the description below. Miko will be mine.
I'm looking
But
forward to the simp
telling you
report.
now. Check the description below to find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitch, on social media, and on Discord. Check out our merch store as well. Any purchases you make there do really help us out. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, gotta go pee now.
I was gonna do nya hello, but that doesn't make sense, so I'll just say nya goodbye.
No comment.
Come on.